In a world increasingly shadowed by conformity, one man dared to shout,
"I am not a number, I am a free man!"
His name was Patrick Joseph McGoohan. McGoohan was a writer, director, and visionary whose work transcended the boundaries of television and film. He challenged the very nature of freedom, identity, and the individual's place in a controlling society. His masterpiece, The Prisoner, remains a cultural touchstone, a surreal, allegorical odyssey that dared to ask, what does it mean to be free in a world that seeks to number, file, and control us? This is a brief story of McGoohan's life, from his humble beginnings to his uncompromising artistic legacy. A man who lived as he preached, defying the bureaucratic machine and championing the indomitable spirit of the individual.
I will not be pushed, filed, stamped, indexed, briefed, debriefed, or numbered.
Patrick Joseph McGoohan was born on March 19, 1928, in Astoria, Queens, New York, to Irish Catholic immigrants Thomas McGoohan and Rose Fitzpatrick, and to this day we still don't know his confirmation name.
4:31 a.m., 19th of March, 1928. I have nothing to say. Is that clear?
His parents, seeking opportunity in America, soon found the economic realities of the Great Depression unforgiving. Within months of Patrick's birth, they returned to their Irish homeland, settling in County Leitrim to try their hand at farming. However, the pastoral life proved unprofitable, and when Patrick was 7, the family relocated to Sheffield, a gritty, industrial city in South Yorkshire. Sheffield shaped McGoohan's formative years. He attended St Mary's School, then St Vincent's, and later De La Salle College, where he excelled in mathematics and boxing, a curious blend of cerebral and physical prowess. It's believed that his family lived at number 6 Clark House Road on the edge of Broom Hill. Patrick once mentioned that this was in Fulwood, a slightly posher area of Sheffield. Hey, we've all done it. One of his school friends at St Vincent's was Sid Grant, and he recalled, was the only kid who'd sit next to Pat as he had perforated eardrums, meaning his ears ran. Here are some photographs of St Vincent's today. The inside is now a student collective, but inside you can still see where the altar was. Due to wartime evacuation to Loughborough, McGoohan attended Ratcliffe College, then a Catholic boarding school. Patrick returned to Sheffield, where after leaving school, he found brief work in the steelworks, and then as a bank clerk on Curzon Street. The bank is now a very nice small cinema, and if you're ever in Sheffield, I urge you to pay a visit. There's a little bar in there, and the staff are excellent. Thank you, Sarah. And here is a picture of the bank manager's office, where McGoohan would have had his interview. With some serendipity involved, McGoohan found work in the Sheffield Rep Theatre on Townhead Street, another sadly now gone, for a car park. After an actor became ill, Pat finally got his chance to perform. It was also whilst acting in Sheffield that he met his future wife, Joan Drummond. When McGoohan was interviewed in Los Angeles, he stated, "It was the happiest time of my life. I went to school there, became an actor, and met my wife in Sheffield, and life was simpler then. I didn't need a lawyer, an agent, or a business manager. I just went on stage and played big roles, as well as small roles. The last time I was filming in England, which was The Man in the Iron Mask, we had a free day, so I hired a car and didn't tell Joan where we were going. I parked the car and took her into the city centre and made for Wilson Peck's music shop. When we were outside the shop, I made her close her eyes, turned her around and asked her to open up her eyes. I then told her we were standing on the very same manhole cover where I proposed to her all those years ago. Wilson Peck's now a bank, was a great music shop, and we used to wander around looking at all the instruments we couldn't afford.
Curiosity brought you here, and it shall be rewarded. But I must warn you, before we go on, that I, like you, am a visitor to this room of rooms.
As with many actors and musicians of the time, McGoohan found larger roles down south and inevitably had to move to London. By the early 1950s, McGoohan's talent was undeniable. His stage work caught the eye of Orson Welles, who cast him as Starbuck in the 1955 West End production of Moby Dick, Rehearsed. Welles later remarked that McGoohan possessed all the required attributes: looks, intensity, unquestionable acting ability, and a twinkle in his eye, but lamented that television had grabbed him before he could become one of the era's great stage actors. McGoohan's performance in the 1955 play Serious Charge as a vicar accused of homosexuality, imagine that, showcased his ability to embody complex, morally ambiguous characters, earning him critical acclaim. His transition to screen was swift. Small roles in films like The Dam Busters and Zarak led to a contract with the Rank organisation, a major British studio.
Sorry, old boy. It's secret. You can't go in.
However, McGoohan chafed under the charm school system, finding it stifling.
Well, we're not going to do any more work until we get some decent grub.
I wish someone would dump the bloody things then.
We mean it, Ike.
His role as the volatile truck driver, Red, in Hell Drivers, alongside Connery and Baker, revealed a dangerous intensity that set him apart. It's amusing to see McGoohan playing an evil character who happens to be driving the number one.
My place. If you think you're good enough to sit in my place, you have to prove it.
A 1959 adaptation of Henrik Ibsen's Brand, playing a priest grappling with faith, won him a London Drama Critics Award, cementing his reputation as a formidable talent.
Mine is a storm, where yours is a gentle wind, inflexible where yours is weak, all loving, not all doting, and he is young and strong like Hercules.
Brand is a complex figure, a man of rigid moral absolutism, who demands all or nothing from himself and his congregation, believing that true salvation requires complete sacrifice. Sounds like number 6. His performance is marked by a granite-like intensity, with a strained, almost bile-filled delivery that conveys Brand's inner turmoil and obsessive devotion. Michael Mayo, who translated the play, declared it the best theatrical performance I ever saw.
But to help you now would be sin. Only God can lift you from your distress, and living people suck strength from sorrow.
McGoohan worked vociferously over the next few years, whether in theatre, TV, or film, playing notable parts in armchair theatre.
I'm the king of the world, see, and I want everybody to know it, huh? The king of the world. Yeah, go on, write that down. The king of the world, yeah?
And the film, All Night Long, where he learnt how to play drums for his role as Johnny Cousin.
Me? Oh, I belong to that new minority group, white American jazz musicians. They're gonna hold a mass meeting in a phone booth.
While professional drummer Alan Ganley performed on the soundtrack, McGoohan still had to learn all the intricate parts for the filming. Although as a fellow drummer, I can tell where the film diverts from the recorded audio. But McGoohan still had to do a sterling job playing triplets and speedy rolls around the toms. Patrick's intense, frenzied performance amplifies his character's sociopathic tendencies, making him both a compelling and detestable figure. McGoohan's portrayal of Dr. Christopher Syn in the film The Scarecrow of Romney Marsh showcased his ability to embody complex, morally driven characters. In this Disney-produced adventure, McGoohan played a 17th century vicar in Romney Marsh who leads a double life as a masked scarecrow, a smuggler, fighting against oppressive taxation to aid his impoverished community.
Well, they can live and clothe themselves and their children and pay the taxes in a countryside bled white by the King's Parliament, which represents them and which buys and sells votes as if they were dealing in cattle.
McGoohan's performance infused the role with quiet intensity, blending the gentle demeanour of a clergyman with the cunning and resolve of a revolutionary leader. His commanding presence and distinctive voice made the Scarecrow a folk hero, both enigmatic and relatable, resonating with audiences through his defiance of injustice.
Cheat, liar, traitor, convicted by your own words. And this court sentences you to die accordingly. What are you going to do?
McGoohan's Catholic upbringing and moral convictions likely influenced his nuanced portrayal of Dr Syn, a character torn between his pastoral duties and his outlaw activities. The role allowed him to explore themes of justice and resistance, which later became central to his iconic work in The Prisoner. His physicality, marked by his sharp, deliberate movements and a piercing gaze, brought a theatrical flair to the Scarecrow's nighttime escapades, while his understated delivery grounded the character's compassion for the poor.
Bring 2 boats ashore. 6 others will report to Hellspite, mast, at Dymchurch Graveyard, 8 o'clock.
The film, originally a 3-part television serial, was praised for its atmospheric storytelling, with McGoohan's performance as a linchpin, earning him a dedicated following among fans who admired his ability to convey depth in a family-friendly atmosphere. Fan communities, such as the Unmutual website, celebrate McGoohan's Dr Syn as a precursor to his later roles, noting how his portrayal captured the duality of a man balancing faith and rebellion. Though less famous than The Prisoner, Dr Syn, alias the Scarecrow, remains a testament to McGoohan's versatility, showcasing his ability to elevate a historical tale into a compelling study of morality and leadership. The role cemented his reputation as an actor who could transform seemingly simple characters into unforgettable figures of conviction and charisma.
Taxed out of existence, robbed of their independence by the King's government, the people must fight back how they can.
Back in 1960, McGoohan's career ignited with Danger Man, a British espionage series created by Ralph Smart and produced by Lou Grade's ITC. As John Drake, a suave yet principled NATO operative, McGoohan redefined the spy archetype. Unlike the flamboyant James Bond, why did I do that? A role he famously declined twice due to moral objections to Bond's violence and promiscuity.
Your way can only lead to killing, and to more killing. You can't wipe out blood with more blood.
Drake was cerebral, relying on wit over weaponry. The series, renamed Secret Agent in the US, ran from 1960 to 68 and made McGoohan the highest paid actor on British television.
I really believe I'm beginning to teach you the meaning of the word, servility.
His intense, enigmatic performance resonated with Cold War audiences, blending charm with a steely moral conviction. By 1964, Danger Man had expanded to hour-long episodes, allowing McGoohan greater range to explore Drake's complexities.
You see that little cafe on the left there?
Yeah, what about it?
They serve a wonderful kebab.
Production of Danger Man included 39 half-hour shows and 47 full-hour offerings. With testament to the roster of writers, these shows featured intelligent, believable plots, with some rumours of ex-SIS officers, let's say, being advisors. Certainly George Markstein, who'd been making a name for himself as a story consultant, may have had some deeper dealings with Five. Yet by the 4th season, McGoohan had grown restless. Feeling the series was becoming repetitive, he resigned after filming the first episode of the 4th season, Kuroshi. This decision was not merely professional, but philosophical, a rejection of creative stagnation and a bold step towards a project that would define his legacy.
But I don't know anybody around here being willing to escort you to that particular island, and that includes me.
And it's interesting to note that both Kenneth Griffith and McGoohan acted together in both Danger Man and The Prisoner's final episodes. The first season saw Drake, initially portrayed with a transatlantic accent, operating out of Washington, D.C. However, the series became a worldwide hit when the character was reworked as a British M9 agent, with McGoohan speaking in his natural English accent.
You are beautiful, you have exceptional dignity, you are, as the Romans say, simpatico.
McGoohan's Drake was often a lone wolf, clashing with superiors and questioning the ethics of his missions. Sexual tension with guest star Susan Hampshire hinted at an off-screen connection, but McGoohan ensured Drake remained unattached, bound by duty over desire. His physicality, honed as an amateur boxer, was evident in meticulously choreographed fight scenes, yet his intelligence defined the role. The series' topical plots, exotic locales, and McGoohan's commanding presence made Danger Man a standout show.
Drake. Where the devil's Drake? But I'm sure, Armstrong, that if you give me another 10 minutes, I could convince you about the loan.
Key to Danger Man's success was its creative team. Ralph Smart, the show's creator, penned many scripts, while writers like Brian Clemens and Philip Broadley brought sharp, intelligent storytelling. Directors such as Terry Bishop, Clive Donner and Seth Holt crafted a taut, noir-inflected style, with cinematographer Brendan J. Stafford and producer Sidney Cole ensuring high production values.
You don't fool me, Drake.
Stay where you are, yourself.
Many of these figures would later contribute to The Prisoner, forging a creative continuity. The 1960 episode, View from the Villa, the series' premiere of Danger Man, marked a pivotal moment in McGoohan's career.
That gold must be recovered, Mr. Drake.
Wonder what made him do it. You know, that amount of gold, Mr. Finch, must weigh over a ton.
The episode follows John Drake as he investigates the murder of a man who embezzled $5 million in gold bullion. Set ostensibly in Italy, the production team, constrained by budget, chose Portmeirion, a surreal Welsh resort village, to stand in for the Italian countryside. Four shows would be shot using Portmeirion as their backdrop. Its pastel-coloured buildings, baroque arches and surreal charm captivated McGoohan, planting the seed for The Prisoner's iconic village.
There's the bell tower.
Oh, there are many such towers.
But the peak here is quite distinctive.
The 1964 episode, Colony 3, from Danger Man's second season, is widely regarded as a direct precursor to The Prisoner. Written by Donald Johnson and directed by Don Chaffee, the episode sees John Drake infiltrate a spy school in Eastern Europe, posing as a defector to uncover a Soviet training operation.
I do hope you had a comfortable journey.
Jako to mesto.
We only speak English here, Mr. Randall.
The setting, a secretive village called New Amden in South Hatfield, bears striking similarities to The Prisoner's village. New Amden is a self-contained community where agents are trained to blend into Western society, complete with English-style shops, a church, and a rigid social order, eerily presaging the controlled, idyllic prison of Portmeirion.
This village is one of our best-kept secrets. The agency that recruited you doesn't even know that we exist. But I'm sure that you'll find life here agreeable enough.
In Colony 3, Drake encounters a microcosm of surveillance and manipulation, where residents are both prisoners and participants in their own indoctrination.
It's like being in a zoo.
The animals are very well cared for.
The interrogation room.
The episode's themes of identity, control, and resistance, Drake's refusal to conform to the villagers' rules, mirror number 6's struggle in The Prisoner. As one fan noted, Colony 3 is arguably the most prisoner-esque episode of Danger Man, with a village that imprisons its inhabitants.
Come on, back to the village.
You're still dreaming, fool. It's about time you woke up.
McGoohan's performance, marked by quiet defiance and intellectual cunning, feels like a rehearsal for number 6, his moral outrage palpable as he uncovers the village's true purpose. Colony 3's influence on the prisoner is undeniable. Its concept of a hidden community designed to extract secrets or enforce conformity directly informed McGoohan's vision of the village as a luxury prison camp. Markstein later claimed the village was partly inspired by a real, secure establishment where spies were held on extended holidays, a notion that resonated with McGoohan's distrust of bureaucratic systems.
Take it back, and we'll both keep our mouths shut.
You should have turned me in, they'd have given you a medal. You'd have had it made.
The series featured many actors who crossed over to The Prisoner. To name a few, Aubrey Morris, another Danger Man regular, played the part of the Emperor in The Prisoner's Dance of the Dead. Jane Merrow starred in A Date with Doris, and Frederick Piper, our chess-playing admiral, starred in Name, Date and Place, and No Place for Civility. The creative bridge between Danger Man and The Prisoner was built by a talented ensemble of actors, writers, and crew, many of whom McGoohan handpicked for his vision. Actors like Paul Eddington, who played a Swiss police captain in Danger Man's I'm Afraid You Have the Wrong Number, and later Cobb in The Prisoner's Arrival, brought continuity to McGoohan's world. Eddington's casting stemmed from McGoohan's admiration for his Danger Man performance. Ronald Rad, a versatile actor, appeared in Danger Man and later as number 58 in The Prisoner's Checkmate. Peter Swanick, who played the supervisor in The Prisoner, appeared in Danger Man's The Key and The Paper Chase. Christopher Benjamin portrayed Potter, John Drake's contact in Danger Man's final season, and played a character with the same name in The Prisoner's The Girl Who Was Deaf, an episode based on a Danger Man script. The crew also overlapped. Don Chaffee directed multiple Danger Man episodes and The Prisoner's Arrival, while script consultant George Markstein, who joined Danger Man in its 3rd season, became The Prisoner's story editor, bringing his real-world espionage knowledge to both shows.
I think you'd better tell them.
Writers were equally crucial. Brian Clemens, who wrote View from the Villa, contributed to The Prisoner's development, though uncredited. George Markstein, Danger Man script consultant from '64, co-created The Prisoner with McGoohan, shaping its espionage roots. Markstein's belief that number 6 was John Drake, despite McGoohan's denials, fueled many fan debates. The crew solidified the link. David Tomlin, assistant director on Danger Man, co-produced The Prisoner and directed many episodes. His close relationship with McGoohan, formed during Danger Man, led to the creation of Everyman Films, the production company behind The Prisoner. Jack Champan, Danger Man's art director, designed The Prisoner's iconic sets, including the village's control room, a number 2 spherical chair. Cinematographer Brendan J. Stafford and producer Sidney Cole, both Danger Man veterans, ensured visual and narrative cohesion in The Prisoner. McGoohan's hands-on role in both series was pivotal. In Danger Man, he influenced scripts to emphasize Drake's morality, and in The Prisoner, he wrote and directed episodes like Free for All and Once Upon a Time, embedding his philosophy of individualism. The shared talent pool and Port Merian's recurring presence created a seamless transition from Danger Man's grounded espionage to The Prisoner's surreal allegory. After filming the colour episodes Koroshi and Shindashima, the only 2 in the 4th season, he resigned, feeling the series had become repetitive. His departure was abrupt, forcing the series' cancellation, but it paved the way for The Prisoner.
Why are you snooping on us? Who are you working for?
Grade, trusting McGoohan's star power, agreed over a handshake, launching a project that will cost £75,000 per episode, the most expensive British series of its time.
Anything was better than staying there.
Anything?
Yes.
For those still harking on about how good McGoohan would have been as a Bond, Just buy yourself the complete DVD collection of Danger Man, and after watching, you'll forever see Bond as a comedy show with explosions.
Hang on, James.
The thought had occurred to me.
Patrick was in a party at the end of Danger Man, and somebody in the government had approached him and said, "So what does the secret agent do when he's retired?" Meaning the actor. And Patrick, very the way Patrick is, inquiring, said, "Well, what do they do with secret agents when they retire?" And he said, "Oh, we take care of them."
Approaching Lou Grade with a radical idea for a 7-episode miniseries, McGoohan pitched a story of a resigned spy abducted to a surreal village.
Boredom.
Just that.
Was how it started.
With
really.
TV or with society or with you?
With TV initially. I was doing a series that was called Secret Agent.
Mm-hmm.
Was it called that here or Danger Man? It had two titles.
Danger Man here.
Danger Man,
yep.
Yes. And I'd made 54 of those. And I thought that was an adequate amount. So I went to the gentleman, Lou Grade, who was the financier, and said I'd like to cease making Secret Agent and do something else. So he didn't like that idea. He preferred that I'd gone on forever doing it. But anyway, I said I was going to quit. So he said, "What's the idea?" This was on the telephone initially. So I met him on a Saturday morning at 7 o'clock, which was always the time that we had our discussions. And he said, "All right, what's the idea?" And I had a whole format prepared of this prisoner thing, which initially came to me on one of the locations on Secret Agent when we went to this place called Port Miriam, where a great deal of it was shot. And I thought it was an extraordinary place.
And that's how you found the place? It was
we went there on
when you were
location.
doing the Danger Man series?
Yeah, and I thought it was an extraordinary place architecturally and atmosphere-wise and should be used for something. And that was 2 years before the concept came to me. So I prepared it and went in to see Lou Grade. I had photographs of the village or whatever and a format. And he said, "I don't want to read the format," because he doesn't read formats. He says he can't read apart from accounts. And he sort of said, "Well, what's it about? Tell me." So I talked for 10 minutes and he stopped me and said, "I don't understand one word you're talking about, but how much is it going to be, you see?" So I had a budget with me, oddly enough, and I told him how much. He says, "When can you start?" I said, "Monday," on scripts. And he says, "The money will be in your company's account on Monday morning," which it was. And that's how we started. Also, behind it, of course, was a certain impatience with the numerology of society and the way we've been made into ciphers. So there was something else behind it as well.
You didn't initially want to do 17 films?
No, 7 as a serial as opposed to a series. And I thought that the concept of the thing would sustain for only 7. But then Lou Grade wanted to make his sale to CBS, I believe, first ran it in the States. And he said he couldn't make a deal unless he had more. And he wanted 26. And I couldn't conceive of 26 stories because it would be spreading it very thin. But we did manage over a weekend with my writers to cook up 10 more outlines. And eventually we did 17, but it should be 7.
In 1967, Patrick McGoohan unleashed The Prisoner, a 17-episode miniseries that defied categorization and reshaped television history. Co-created with script editor George Markstein and produced through McGoohan's Everyman Films, The Prisoner was a radical departure from Danger Man's grounded espionage.
We'll be open in a minute.
What's the name of this place?
You're new here, aren't you?
Where?
Do you want breakfast?
Where is this?
McGoohan starred as number 6, a former British intelligence agent who, after resigning, is abducted and imprisoned in a surreal, idyllic seaside resort known only as The Village. Stripped of his name, assigned a number, and subjected to relentless psychological interrogation, number 6 fights to keep his identity and to destroy those who seek to oppress him.
What's it all about?
Sit down and I'll tell you.
The Prisoner is a kaleidoscope of genres: psychological drama, science fiction, political allegory, woven into a narrative that probes the nature of freedom, surveillance, and individuality. The village, with its cheerful facades and Orwellian seeing eyes, is a dystopia masquerading as utopia, where conformity is enforced by a mysterious entity, Number One, and a menacing balloon-like device called Rover. McGoohan, who wrote, directed, and produced several episodes, sometimes under pseudonyms, infused the series with his personal ethos. He insisted Number 6 mostly relied on intellect over violence, and rejected gratuitous romantic subplots, reflecting his moral stance against exploitation in media.
What physically happens if I win? You're the boss. Number 1's the boss.
The series' themes were prescient, drawing from McGoohan's distrust of bureaucratic systems and his fascination with Orwell's 1984. As he stated, all stories apply to our society and the dangers of being reduced to a number. The village's omnipresent surveillance anticipated modern debates over privacy.
I intend to discover who are the prisoners and who the warders.
While Number 6's defiance became a rallying cry for individualism. The show's surreal imagery, from the Baroque architecture of Portmeirion to the Kafkaesque interrogations, challenged viewers to question reality itself.
Give, that's it. That's it. And take. That's it. Takes all you want. That's it. Take. That's it. Take.
The finale, Fallout, aired in 1968 and remains one of television's most enigmatic conclusions. Its abstract allegorical resolution provoked outrage, with viewers demanding clarity. McGoohan, besieged by fans' backlash, fled London for the hills, later settling in Los Angeles, seeking anonymity in a city where celebrities are a dime a dozen.
He has gloriously vindicated the right of the individual to be individual.
Yet the controversy only amplified the Prisoner's cult status. Decades later, it inspired shows like Twin Peaks and Lost, and its themes of resistance against dehumanization remain strikingly relevant. College campuses and public television stations continue to rerun the series, and its influence endures in modern discussions of surveillance states and personal autonomy. McGoohan's involvement in The Prisoner was total. He was its heart, mind, and soul.
5, 6, 5, 6, 5!
His performance as Number 6, intense, defiant, with a wry smile that never quite reached his eyes, embodied the struggle of the individual against the collective. His refusal to compromise, even at the cost of commercial success, set a precedent for auteur-driven television. The Prisoner was not just a show, it was a manifesto.
I am not a number, I am a free man!
A testament to McGoohan's belief that art should provoke, challenge, and help liberate. Following The Prisoner, McGoohan's career took a more eclectic path, blending high-profile roles with selective appearances that reflected his disdain for Hollywood's formulaic tendencies.
No one must see that prisoner without my authorization. Guard him well, or it will be your neck.
In late '67, while The Prisoner was still in production, he starred as David Jones in Ice Station Zebra, a Cold War thriller directed by John Sturges.
Oh, I've already vouched for Mr. Vaslov. As for me, you can safely eliminate me.
Why?
Oh, you must.
Why?
Biological absurdity.
His charismatic portrayal of a British agent, alongside Rock Hudson and Ernest Borgnine, earned praise, with billionaire Howard Hughes reportedly watching the film like an obsessive.
Get me there. Put another torpedo up the spout. Blow a hole in the ice. And get me there!
In 1970, McGoohan adopted a southern accent for the Moonshine War, playing a corrupt ex-revenue agent, a departure from his usual clipped British accent.
I heard you think you're fooling, son. You're dealing with the United States federal government.
He returned to England for Mary Queen of Scots in 1971, portraying the treacherous James Stewart, 1st Earl of Moray. In '73 he directed Catch My Soul, a rock-infused adaptation of Othello, starring Richie Havens, which, though critically panned, showcased his willingness to experiment. The 1970s saw McGoohan forge a lasting association with Columbo, the detective series starring his friend Peter Falk.
Don't you expect me to be contrite, Lieutenant? It had to be done, and I'd do it again tomorrow.
Between '74 and '90, he appeared in 4 episodes as different villains, directed 2 and won 2 Primetime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Guest Actor. In the annals of television, few partnerships rival the electric interplay of Patrick McGoohan and Peter Falk. His performances, marked by an intensifying anger, captivated audiences, with Falk noting that McGoohan commanded my attention like no other actor. McGoohan was considered to replace Falk, but declined, citing loyalty to his friend and a reluctance to lead another series. McGoohan's Columbo journey began in October 1974 with By Dawn's Early Light, a Season 4 episode where he played Colonel Lyle C. Rumford, a rigid military academy commandant. McGoohan's performance, marked by icy control and bleach-white hair, transforms him into an older, authoritarian figure, earning him his first Emmy for Outstanding Guest Actor.
We have similar jobs in a way. I wear a uniform, you wear I suppose you could call that a uniform.
In 1975, McGoohan returned for Identity Crisis, starring as a CIA double agent, Nelson Brenner, and directing the episode with considerable flair, balancing tension and humour.
I respectfully request that you do not harass me.
Peter Falk called their scenes amongst the best they ever did. McGoohan's directorial touches included a nod to The Prisoner with Brenner's Be Seeing You and a jacket mimicking Number 6's iconic outfit.
Well, in that case, I'll be seeing you. Thank you so much. Be seeing.
I hope so, sir.
In '76, McGoohan directed Last Salute to the Commodore, the series' 5 finale, initially thought to be Columbo's last episode. Despite its flaws, the episode showcases McGoohan's willingness to experiment, a hallmark of his Prisoner directorial style.
Which regrettably means that one of the last calls he made in his life was to me.
McGoohan's triumphant return came in 1990 with Agenda for Murder. He played Oscar Finch, a political operative who murders a racketeer to protect a corrupt congressman and his own vice presidential ambitions. Directed and starring, McGoohan won his second Emmy for his pompous, stern, yet intelligent performance.
So the blood must have dried before the gun fell from his hand on the floor.
Further on in '98, McGoohan played Eric Prince, a sleazy undertaker in Ashes to Ashes, directing and co-writing the episode, and his daughter Catherine appeared alongside him, adding a nice personal touch.
Gas boiler blew up.
Ouch. Is there anything left of him?
Well, he's not the man he was.
In 2001, McGoohan directed Murder with Too Many Notes, casting comedian Billy Connolly as a composer, Finlay Crawford, who kills to hide plagiarism. McGoohan, feeling too old to act, declined a role, but infused the episode with his signature style. In the storied collaborations between Patrick McGoohan and Peter Falk on Columbo, one moment stands out as a testament to the camaraderie and friendship. Falk's gift of a glass eye to McGoohan, accompanied by a note reading, Be Seeing You.
Some men are destined never to leave Alcatraz alive.
In '79, McGoohan portrayed the megalomaniacal warden in Escape from Alcatraz. He starred opposite Clint Eastwood, and this was a masterclass in understated menace, earning critical acclaim. And it's quite amusing to see Pat playing the prison's number one again. For one man to play roles so loved and then so hated is a testament to his abilities.
It appears that they drowned. Why? If that was important enough to take along, they wouldn't have lost it. Maybe they lost it to look like they drowned.
The Hard Way, directed by Michael Dryhurst and released as a British TV movie in 1980, is a stark, noirish thriller that pits McGoohan's John Connor, not that one, against his manipulative handler, played by Lee Van Cleef.
I need the best.
Get someone else.
You're the man.
Not anymore.
The plot is deceptively simple. Connor, a seasoned Irish assassin, completes a hit in London and declares his retirement, retreating to a remote cottage in County Wicklow. He seeks to mend his fractured marriage to Kathleen and escape the bloodshed that has defined his life. But McNeil, unwilling to lose his top operative, coerces Connor into one final job, an assassination of an African minister visiting Ireland.
I'll need workshop facilities to tune it up and to fix a new scope.
What follows is a tense, cerebral game of cat and mouse as Connor subverts the mission, turning the hunter into the hunted.
Just one more check. You're all set!
McGoohan's portrayal of Connor is a study in minimalism and restraint, qualities that defined his career. From the opening scene where Connor takes aim from a high window, his face is a mask of cold precision, yet his eyes portray a flicker of weariness. As one reviewer noted, McGoohan says everything but hardly says a thing. His sparse dialogue and subtle body language conveying a man burdened by his past. In a pivotal bar scene, Connor's quiet menace as he faces McNeil, slamming the door to release pent-up rage, is a masterclass in understated intensity. Unlike the action-heavy hitman tropes of the era, Connor is introspective, his moral conflict palpable. McGoohan imbues him with a humanity that transcends the genre, making Connor not just a killer, but a man seeking redemption. Like number 6, Connor is a man who resigns, only to be ensnared by forces determined to control him.
He's out there somewhere.
The film's theme of a lone individual defying a manipulative authority echoes The Prisoner's Village, where number 6 fought against dehumanization. As one critic noted, the man who lands himself in trouble after trying to retire calls to mind McGoohan's magnus-opus.
You're a scanner, which you don't realize. That has been the source of all your agony.
In 1981, McGoohan delivered a chilling performance as Dr. Paul Ruth in David Cronenberg's Scanners.
I want you to slowly release your scan, slowly, with focus.
A scientist experimenting with psychic abilities and battling against insidious forces. David Cronenberg called him the most difficult actor I ever worked with, yet praised his fantastic performance.
I submit that this is not an accident. I think we've lost them to a program far in advance of ours.
Mostly filmed in '77, although actually released in '81, McGoohan once again teamed up with his old pal from The Prisoner, Alexis Canner.
Thou art slave to fate, chance, kings, and desperate men.
Canner and Edmund Ward had written Kings and Desperate Men, a movie about a DJ, John Kingsley, and his family being taken hostage on Christmas Eve. If that sounds like a die-hard plot, you won't be surprised to hear Canner try to sue them after he'd seen Bruce in his sweaty vest.
The fact is that you will know that a young man named Mackenzie will receive 15 years in prison for
find it's more effective
causing the...
After a role in the Disney adventure, Baby, Secret of the Lost Legend, McGoohan took a decade-long hiatus from films. He returned triumphantly in 1995 as King Edward I in Mel Gibson's wildly inaccurate Braveheart.
Taxes or no taxes, huh?
The most excellent idea, sire.
Is it?
His portrayal of the ruthless monarch, with what critic Peter Rayner called the most villainous enunciation in the history of acting, was a standout, revitalizing his career.
One day you will be a king. At least try to act like one.
Sadly for the film, as with Gibson's The Patriot, it was full of inaccuracies. Hollywood? Lies? Who'd have guessed it? There was also a rumour that McGoohan was left out from the advertising posters, so Gibson wouldn't be overshadowed in any way. Of course, both viewers and critics would hail McGoohan as king of the whole production.
Wallace has already killed the magistrate and taken control of the town. Stand up.
In 1996, he played Judge Omar Noose in A Time to Kill and the ghostly father in The Phantom. His final screen role came in 2002, voicing Billy Bones in Disney's Treasure Planet.
And I invented the bottomless peanut bag.
Wow. And he reprised number 6 in a 2000 episode of The Simpsons, a playful nod to his enduring legacy. In his later years, he embraced seclusion, limiting public appearances and focusing on family. He declined involvement in a 2009 remake of The Prisoner, wary of diluting his vision. Patrick McGoohan died on January the 13th, 2009 in Santa Monica after a brief illness, leaving behind a legacy defined by integrity.
So, you approve of our penal system? Yes, sir. As a deterrent against any kind of sin. You believe in hanging?
Patrick McGoohan's work endures not merely for its entertainment value, but for its unflinching interrogation of power, control, and the human spirit. The Prisoner, with its prescient warnings about surveillance and conformity, remains a cultural lodestone, its themes resonating in an era of data tracking and social media echo chambers.
Let's make a deal. You cooperate. Tell us what we want to know, and this can be a very nice place. You may even be given a position of authority.
McGoohan's refusal to play James Bond or Simon Templar in The Saint, roles he deemed morally compromising, underscored his commitment to art over commerce. His insistence that number 6 uses brain before a gun, and his rejection of gratuitous sexuality in The Prisoner, reflected a moral clarity rare in the industry.
You imprison people, steal their minds, destroy them.
Depends on whose side you're on, doesn't it?
I'm on our side.
McGoohan's ethos was rooted in a profound belief in individuality. As he declared, "I question everything. I don't accept anything on face value." This skepticism fueled his art and his life. He saw the greatest evil as a struggle against one's own conformity, a battle he waged through number 6's defiance and his own career choices.
You need a scapegoat. Citizens, unite to denounce this menace in our presence.
His influence extends beyond television. Filmmakers like David Lynch and J.J. Abrams owe a debt to The Prisoner's narrative daring. Its fanbase, from college campuses to online forums, continues to dissect its mysteries, ensuring McGoohan's vision endures. He was, as Peter Falk noted, one of the genuinely original people in entertainment, a man whose intensity and conviction left an indelible mark. Patrick McGoohan, forged in Sheffield, was more than an actor. He was a philosopher of the screen, a rebel who challenged the status quo with every role, every script, and every frame.
I risked my life and hers to come back here, home, because I thought it was different. It is, isn't it? Isn't it different?
His life was a testament to the power of standing alone, of refusing to be numbered or tamed. In an age where conformity threatens to erode the individual, McGoohan's cry echoes as a call to arms. His work reminds us that freedom is not given, it's fought for, questioned, and fiercely guarded. Patrick McGoohan, the defiant rebel with a cause, lives on in every heart that dares to resist.
I am not a number. I am a free man.